and welcome to Noni, your morning chat show discussing the topics and opinions that matter to you. Today we'll be talking about colorism and asking if it's still a problem. Also, is makeup a hidden demon in our lives? It might make us look nice, but does it really undermine our self-esteem? And we'll be finding out what you think with your comments on social media. Joining me on today's show, broadcaster Funmi Ogunja. She's worked in the UK and across Africa, contributing to, amongst others, The Voice newspaper. And Lola Ogunbadejo. She began her successful media career interviewing some of Africa's biggest names, including D'banj and Banky W. Now, the thorny issue of colorism, a term first coined by the writer Alice Walker in 1982 to describe the prejudice or preferential treatment of same-race people based solely on their colour. But the concept has been around a lot longer than that, with much of the stigma associated with darker skin tones originating from the days of slavery, when lighter-skinned slaves were given less arduous jobs within the house, while the darker slaves worked outside. So the idea goes way back. Is it getting any better? Lola, let me start with you. A lot of our viewers may not realise that you actually have another name, Lola Ebony. Tell us why you chose to promote yourself under that name.
That's quite interesting, actually. So when I was younger, I used to be... My family members would say, oh, you've got beautiful dark skin, black skin, you're ebony. And so that's where it was coined, and I just decided to go with it. And when I say it, people automatically get it. Okay, dark skin, ebony, we understand. So that's where it came from.
Who do you think's to blame for colorism for me? You know, this is a term, as we said, goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. But we're talking about it today, so I take it it's still a thing, right?
Yeah, although for me it stems from slavery, I feel like the media has a huge role to play in why it still exists today.
Why?
I feel like it goes back to, like, if you look at magazines, back in the day, we were told that darker skinned women were photoshopped and made to look brighter and lighter to appeal to the masses. And when we look at what society deems beautiful, it's usually either white or lighter or fairer toned women. So I do blame the media for kind of portraying what is beautiful and what society accepts as beautiful.
If you think about the term colorism, it's really a kind of black on black thing, isn't it? Why is it that some blacks, whether you're dark or light, you know, would deem dark-skinned women as being uglier? It's just crazy to me, Lola.
It's just, it goes again with what Funmi said, that's what the media has portrayed, that darker skinned women...
Is it just the media? Because we didn't have it back in slavery times, did we?
Yes, it's true, but back in slavery, once again, like, the lighter skinned women were treated differently, and then white people were seen as superior anyway. So then we have this notion that the lighter you are, the more respected you're going to be, the more honoured you're going to be, the more wanted. You know, so being a dark skinned woman myself, growing up with that ideology that if you are lighter, you're going to be treated better, or guys would want you more, you kind of think to yourself, oh, I'm stuck, what am I going to do? I'm dark skinned. And then that's how sometimes you get some ladies who will start bleaching. So, but within the black community, it's really, really sad. But especially when we think of our men, they've been trained to some extent to believe that you have to get with a lighter skinned woman to be respected.
You're right, I suppose, because we've all heard it in the music lyrics. We've all seen it in the music videos.
Yeah.
They prefer, some of them, you know, even well-known stars, I won't say any of their names, but anybody who listens to current music will know that they say, you know, I want a light-skinned girl, I want a girl with her real hair. And that is really derogatory, isn't it, for me?
Absolutely. And I mean, as a light-skinned, fairer-skinned woman, I've sort of experienced that in a negative way. You're kind of made to feel, you know, it's awkward and uncomfortable when someone kind of prejudge you and assumes that you have that sort of attitude.
How is your personal experience? Because you're a beautiful lady.
Thank you.
And does that not make you feel good about yourself, or do you think that some people judge you because you're light-skinned?
I think, yeah, you do get judged. And even as a child growing up, I have 2 siblings. I'm the fairest one, and, you know, my dad's darker complexion and my mum's light skin. So even in the African community, you know, you're given opportunities, you're given the upper hand.
Wow. So you think you were given preferential treatment?
Absolutely. And it's unfair, and it does make you, you know, I didn't know colorism existed. Like, there wasn't a word for it back then. It was just this unspoken taboo, and you kind of felt it. And it's a very uncomfortable way to feel and to be brought up.
It is.
As I was telling Lola, you experience it more back home in Africa.
Wow.
As compared to here. You know, the more lighter you are, the more successful you
Gosh,
are, the more opportunities you're given.
That's pretty scary, isn't it? Lola, you spoke about men and you said that, you know, sometimes our black men can be to blame because, you know, they're saying that they want a light-skinned woman.
Yeah.
But isn't it strange that if you look in Hollywood, for example, the darker-skinned men are the ones that are most celebrated? You know, if you look at all of our favourite actors, including somebody like Idris Elba, who everybody fawns over, they want to be the next 007, he's dark-skinned, but yet he's celebrated and he is getting big roles.
Yeah, it's just that notion, tall, dark and handsome. Everybody loves the dark-skinned black men, but do dark-skinned black men, do they love their dark-skinned women as well? And I've noticed over the years, just by observing things on YouTube or just news and interviews, that in most cases, dark-skinned women are badgering the dark-skinned men are the ones that are badgering the dark-skinned women. It's something that I don't really understand.
What do you mean?
Like, they might say, they're the ones that will say stuff like, oh, dark-skinned women are ugly. They're the ones who would prefer to be with the lighter-skinned women. I'm not saying all of them, but some that I've observed in the celebrity circuit. And it's really worrying because it's sort of it is self-hate. And it's like, how can you be saying that about your own people?
What about, you know, the term, you know, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, which I believe. But, you know, what about that term? You know, and look at somebody like Lupita Nyong'o, Oscar winner for 12 Years a Slave, you know, Black Panther. You know, there are lots of successful dark-skinned women. Even Naomi Campbell. Would you say she's dark-skinned? I would.
I would. And that's a good thing because it shows that although colorism exists, we do still have, you know, Lupitas and the Naomi Campbells. And it's an amazing thing for me because growing up, we didn't, you know, see such women, you know, and it's great for the young ones coming up to be able to see, you know, dark-skinned women getting lead roles and being on the front covers of magazines. That's what's going to ultimately change it.
So ultimately, would you say, Lola, that lighter-skinned is still favoured in today's society?
Absolutely, and what we just said about Lupita and Naomi Campbell, they're beautiful women, gorgeous, and I wish we could see more women like that in the media so we can actually acknowledge that, yes, there are beautiful dark-skinned women. Everyone's beautiful in general, and I believe that the media is really, really key in making us believe that if we are lighter, we're going to get favoured, we're going to get those roles, we're going to get that job, we're going to get the, you know, if you look at all the hip-hop videos and you see all the video girls, most of them are like...
They all look the same now, don't they? In fact, they're not even really light-skinned black. Exactly. It's kind of a Latina, Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez. Yeah. Like, you don't know where she's from, really, do you? It's kind of an exotic creature that they're creating and they all look the same. But Funmi, you said that you think it's more of a problem on the continent, where most people are dark, really.
Yeah.
And, you know, you work in the entertainment industry. What's it like there? Because surely there are successful dark-skinned girls working in the entertainment industry in Nigeria, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, for example, let's take Obama, for instance. People said that, would Obama have been president if he was dark-skinned?
Wow.
You know, and it's just opportunities like that. You just see that it's the lighter skinned people and it's the fairer skinned complexions that get, you know, that first opportunity for the bigger roles and the big, you know, the big opportunities.
God, it's a very interesting topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coming up, we will continue with this chat about the problem of colorism. Do women with lighter skin in Black and Asian communities command higher status, and what can be done about it? And we'll be asking if makeup is a hidden demon. Is it doing more harm than good? More after the break. Welcome back to Noni. Still to come on today's show, does makeup give women perfection issues? We'll be hearing your comments. Now, before the break, we were talking about colorism and how the shade of your skin can affect the way you're treated. Guys, I've got to ask, you know, we all work in the entertainment industry and we know how kind of critical that can be. There's lots of people saying lots of different things. Lola, would you say that colorism can affect you outside of the entertainment industry? So I'm talking about, you know, working with white colleagues or, you know, going to college and university. Do you think basically white people would say you're dark or you're light, or do they kind of not know the difference?
When I was in secondary school, I think I remember there was a situation where we had to take a group photo, and me being of a darker complexion, I had to be strategically placed somewhere so that I would...
It wasn't because of your height, no. Not because of the shade of your skin.
Yeah, so it just doesn't look a bit I mean, I think that's the only time that I've kind of thought to myself, okay, they're really noticing that, okay, she needs to stand here so it doesn't look too...
Was that a teacher?
Yes, it was, and students as well. But it wasn't like a bad thing. It wasn't. It just made sense at the time. But at that age, I did experience colorism from my peers, from my black peers. So I did have people say stuff to me like, "Oh, you're so black. You look like soot. You look like ash.
Oh
you're
my
black."
God.
Yeah, I've had all of that when I was in secondary
kids
school.
can
That
be
was
so harsh.
They can be. They can be. That was my first major experience of colorism.
For me, you know, we live in London here. Do you think that whites see a difference between skin tone with blacks? Because, you know, some people even call Asians black.
Yeah.
Because they can't really tell the difference. Have you experienced that being a lighter skinned woman?
I mean, amongst white people, I'm just black. And I only ever experience it amongst the black community. I mean, I feel like black is black amongst white people, and when it comes to black communities, there's all sorts of shades.
Wow.
And that's the only kind of instant I've experienced colorism.
So that's quite interesting then. So going back to what we were saying before the break, if, you know, we know, unfortunately, black people don't control the media, you know, and we would say that the Western world, the whites control the media. If they don't see a difference between, you know, skin tone, is it maybe our perception of what we're seeing that makes us believe that shadeism is a thing? Is it something then that's just within our community, Lola?
Possibly, yes, it could be, because I remember growing up with the understanding that because of my skin, I was deemed as less attractive for whatever reason. You know, they had terms like yellow pawpaw, like for the lighter skinned women, and then dudu, like I was dudu also, which means, I believe, but I think in Yoruba that means black, like black. And it was very, very clear from a young age that, you know, if you look like someone like me, it's just not, you know, it's not preferred. And I've just never understood it. But then I think also I can't even imagine a world without the media, you know, putting out that kind of image. That's what I've always seen since I was born, since I've grown up. The media has always been the lighter, the better. So
That's what it is. Ways. But what would you say then, for me, is one of the reasons why we can stop colorism? Is it something that can be stopped? Because again, you know, we can't forget the Naomi Campbells and the Lupita Nyong'os. I know they may be only two names, but if you're looking at successful black women, unfortunately there aren't many. And, you know, these are big names that kind of, you know, trump all of the others. Really.
I think, I mean, the only way it can be stopped, if at all it can, is to just celebrate not just the darker skinned women, all shades of women. And I mean, it's so important now with, you know, kids growing up, they need to kind of understand, you know,
unity.
Yeah, exactly.
Unity is really important. You know, we were talking about the film industry. Lola, you're writing a play. This issue obviously means a lot to you. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so I'm currently writing a play. It's in its second draft stages,
Wow.
but it's dealing with the issue of colorism.
Can I have a role?
Of course, of course. Yes, so it's dealing with the issue of colorism, and it's basically talking about my experience as a young lady growing up in this world with this mindset that if I'm not light skinned, I'm not beautiful, and having comments such as, "Oh, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl," and being made to believe that being dark skinned is not something to be celebrated and something that should be avoided. And even in the play, there's a scene which actually happened to me where a friend is basically saying you shouldn't get with another dark skinned person because your kids are going to come out black.
Oh my God.
It's disgusting. And these are the type of things that are being, you know, heard at the age of like tender age of 13, 14, you're being told who you should get with, who you should like based on your skin complexion. So I was told that I should go for a lighter skin guy because the probability of me having a dark skinned child would be slim, which doesn't even make sense.
It's so shocking, but I think we can all agree that black is beautiful in
Yes.
whatever shade it comes in. Obviously, we're testament to that, aren't we, ladies?
Yes.
Really, really interesting topic. Now, makeup is extremely big business and worth an estimated £9.4 billion a year in the UK alone. But should makeup be an optional extra that women or men use on special occasions? Or is it our love for lashes, eyeshadow and lipstick getting out of control, putting us under even more pressure to be perfect? Let me come to you, Funmi. Is natural beauty being overlooked?
I do think it is being overlooked. I mean, makeup today is not what it was 10 years ago.
What was it 10 years ago?
10 years ago, it was just the basic, the bare necessities. There was just foundation, blush, lipstick. Now you have glitter, different shades,
Contour,
the
highlighter.
the highlight. It's like you said, it's a multi-billion industry, and it does. There is pressure to kind of like have everything, be able to do everything, and to look like that every day. But if you're like me, you just can't be bothered.
God, you say that.
I say that,
You
but I
say
don't
that.
look
So
like
let
that.
me ask the two of you. If I said, you know, one of the producers was going to come here with a wet wipe and rub off all your makeup, Lola, would you be prepared to do that?
No.
Good, because I wouldn't either.
I have to be honest, no. And I think makeup is fun. I love it. It is quite expensive though. I can definitely see the difference of how much I used to spend in my younger years to now. Now, before, if someone told me, you know, you can buy a foundation for more than £10, I'll be like, no, that's a waste of money. But now I'm looking at the higher end products because I want to get the flawless skin. I want the foundation that can stay on 24 hours a day. I want the eyelashes. I want the eyeshadow. And I do think, you know, in regards to what Funmi said, I do think natural beauty is overlooked. But then in some cases is appreciated, but if you have the look for it. If you have,
So if you have good skin or good
you have good
features
skin,
for me.
Exactly.
If you have good skin and good features. But another very smart thing is you can achieve the natural look with makeup. So you have
Like the Kim K.
Yeah, there's a whole makeup.
Makeup, no makeup
Yeah.
look. But that's cheating.
It's cheating, but then that's what I feel like makeup is. It's supposed to enhance what's already there, enhance your natural beauty. So if you're using makeup to look completely different, I don't think that's what makeup's for.
I know, but come on, ladies, we've all seen those wedding pictures. You know, we've all been tagged in those. You know, you see one grandma getting ready for her granddaughter's wedding, and she literally looks like she's in her 20s.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on. I think some men are like, this is too much. I know some girls, you know, their guy doesn't see them without makeup until after the wedding day.
Yeah. I mean, there's pressure to look beautiful, to look great. When I was 15, I remember picking up a Word Up magazine and I was seeing, I think, Destiny's Child, and they were, I don't know how old they were at the time, but they were relatively young as well. And they had like eyeshadow and all that stuff on, and you're looking as a young, oh, okay, I want to look this glamorous, I want to look good. So from a young age, for me, my personal experience, I was kind of like coerced into making sure that I look flawless all the time. And there's pressure. I mean, sometimes these guys that are saying, oh yeah, I've got to take a girl swimming, a lady swimming on the first day because I want to see what she looks like, you know. I know, we just want to look good. We just want to look good and we want to feel good. And unfortunately, sometimes many people plaster on the makeup because of insecurities.
Mm.
But do you feel your best self when you don't have makeup on? For me, because I know, you know, having 3 kids, you know, if I'm doing the school run, I would like to, I can't put the makeup on. And I do feel like myself, but I'm kind of like, oh God, you know, kind of don't want to talk to anyone in their face, head down. But I know that that's wrong. There's a problem with that. It is my self-esteem.
Yeah, I mean, I feel myself without makeup, but I feel most confident with makeup. I'm still able to go out with, you know, without makeup, with a fresh face. But yes, makeup does give me that self-esteem boost. I feel fabulous, I feel glamorous, but I just feel like there's a time and a place for makeup. Like obviously the school run, you don't have to be fully beat. Your lips don't need to be glossy, you know? But come on, like when I'm going out for dinner or I'm going out with my friends, I am gonna do the most.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing to do.
Lola, you talk about men and relationships. Do you think men care, or do they want a woman whose face is really beat? That's the kind of look they want. They want the long wig. They want really long lashes. They want to see, you know, somebody whose face is contoured, and they don't care how you look without makeup, as long as when they're taking you out, you look like the trophy wife.
I think appearance to anyone should be an important thing. For me, it's an important thing. Like when I look at a guy, is he dressed well? Is he dressed, it doesn't have to be designer, but are his clothes clean? Does he smell good? Does he look well kept? You know? And some guys, you know, that's what they ask, that's what they expect from their women as well. They want their women to look, you know, presentable, respectable. I've never come across a guy who's actually forced me to wear makeup, but I have actually come across men who've said, okay, Lola, I would love to see you with less makeup.
Wow.
Like to some, this is too much. They would prefer just to have the foundation or some mascara. So they would say, you know, why eyeshadow, why contour, why you need to believe
Why are you taking so long?
Exactly, because it takes about an hour, you know, to get this look. And over the years, I think Nigerian men, especially now, it's because of from my experience, you know, we've got the fake lashes, we've got the fake nails, we've got the fake hair. And like you rightly said, some people do not show their true selves until the wedding night, and it's a shock.
Yeah.
It's a shocker.
Yeah.
And we don't get that with men. With men, it's what you see is what
Yeah.
you get.
Yeah.
So I understand.
They'll have a fresh trim and it's like, oh!
Yeah.
But no, it's not that much of a shock. It's personality that shocks you with men, but that's another thing.
Exactly. But I guess, you know, they want that same experience to be able to see what they're truly getting. So I understand why they want us to tone it down, and sometimes they can be a bit rude. Because you look, you know, on Instagram, you see all those, like they'll put up there, oh my gosh, you know, like I said before, make sure you take her swimming or make sure you take a wipe to see her true beauty. But yeah, I totally understand why they have sort of mixed feelings because of the deception that they've seen in the past.
For me, how different do you look without makeup, do you think?
I'd like to say I look the same.
Yeah.
Oh, we all know that's not true. But
Some of us look better. I'm sure
Some,
you've seen
yeah.
some friends, or you know there are some makeovers, and you're like, actually, you look better
do you know what?
without the
Recently,
makeup.
yesterday, I watched Rihanna's makeup tutorial, and I actually felt like she looked better without makeup. You know, so in some cases, people do actually look good without makeup, and they say that the best makeup is when you have great skin.
Yeah.
So I have now taken, you know, time to perfect my skin, and I'm concentrating more on my skin, whereas before it was get the best beauty products for makeup, but now it's like get the best beauty products for underneath for your skin.
I suppose, you know, beauty is from within as well, isn't
Yeah.
it, ladies? And, you know, we're all beautiful here today. Really beautiful discussion. That's it from me, Juliana Olayinka, and my fabulous co-host, Lola Ogunbadejo and Funmi Ogunja. Join me once again tomorrow for more Noni Chat. Goodbye.